This is a storage auction story about a jackpot pair of designer shoes. All right, this was several years ago, back when all the auctions were live. This was a U-Haul facility downtown Atlanta, and I'm talking about right downtown, called Peter Street. This is like a 5-story building. It was a meat packing plant way back in the day. I don't know exactly how old it is, but you know, I'm thinking at least 50, somewhere 50 to 100 years, sometime in that range, 50 to 100 years old. You can kind of tell when you go in the building because there's some old aspects of the building. I mean, it's been remodeled over and over again by U-Haul. But you can still see some of the old tile, like old subway tile, and just the way the walls look and some of the designs are really old. And then the main elevator that they had, especially several years ago when I first started buying units, was a freight elevator where you had to pull down the doors. They closed in the middle like this, and then you also had a big cage, like wooden cage. You had to pull both of those closed, and they both had to be closed for the elevator to work. It was a crazy place, like I said, right downtown. Literally, I'm not exaggerating, I estimate there was probably 150 homeless people living in this place. No exaggeration. If you sat there out on the loading dock, people would come and go all day long, and you could tell they were homeless. And then when they did the auctions there, many of the units that they would open up for auction, you could tell somebody was living in or at least storing their stuff. You know, a lot of them just looked like a walk-in closet, clothes hanging around. And then a lot of times there'd be an air mattress on the floor, a cot or something like that, little stand with personal type stuff. So it was obvious that people were living in there. But I bought this unit, only paid 300 and some change. I don't remember the exact amount. I just remember it was $300 and some change. I bought the unit. Like I said, this was right downtown Atlanta, so you could get some funky stuff, some really bad stuff from a homeless person stuff, all the way up to somebody, a rich person or somebody really famous, and everything in between. So I got this unit because there was this crazy, all different colored luggage, like hard case luggage in the front, looked really modern and unique. I bought the unit for that stuff. It was packed. It was like a 5x10, you know, long skinny one, so I couldn't really see what all was in it. It was just packed to the brim. But I got the unit. The luggage did really well. I mean, like one of the bigger suitcases I got like $100 for, and then there was a smaller one, $150. I was about at $150. I'd paid for like half the unit with the luggage. Pulling all this stuff is a lot of modern stuff, and ended up being a lot of clothes, a lot of shoes, a lot of purses. But the person they were a cross-dresser. So they had like designer heels, designer men's dress shoes, tennis shoes, you know, you name it, you know, all different kinds of clothes. But they loved to shop at Nordstrom and Saks Fifth Avenue because there were receipts in there, there was bags from there, there were items that had the tags still hanging on them from those stores, all kinds of designer clothes, stuff I'd heard of, and then stuff I'd never heard of, and did really good on the unit. You know, a lot of that stuff we'd sold on eBay or even in the store and got good money for. And then there was furniture in there. There was a few pieces. There was a bed in there with a king mattress. It was pretty nasty. Most of the furniture was in decent shape, not great, not horrible. I could sell it, but a lot of, you know, had a lot of wear and everything. But I bought the unit, and then a lot of that stuff ended up just kind of in containers off the side, because, you know, I'm buying more units, and some of the stuff got put to the side. Some of the weird stuff that I was going to look up because it was weird names. I knew it was something expensive, but I wasn't sure. So ended up like actually in the office where we'd lift stuff, there was a closet. They ended up in this closet kind of buried. And one day, over a year later, I was like cleaning out the office and pulling stuff out of that closet, and I found that container, and I started to like look up some of the shoes and stuff that were in there, and I was finding good stuff. You know, I mean, all kinds of designer brands, Italian stuff, Gucci stuff, you name it. But there was these pair of shoes in there, really weird looking pair of tennis shoes. They looked like something that way back in the day they would have thought was futuristic, like somebody would wear on the moon. They were really ugly, these crazy looking high tops, but they were called Raf Simons, R-A-F Simons. It might be Simons, I'm not sure, Simmons or Simons. But I looked those shoes up. And I was kind of excited because somewhere between like $100 to $300 is what a lot of those shoes were selling for at the time. So I'm like, okay, this is good. So I put them on eBay, started them at 99 cents. The listing started late in the afternoon, like it was like 5, 6 o'clock when they went on there. I went home and I actually ended up was watching TV and I kind of fell asleep. I woke up at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, and because I kind of woke up because I was hearing the notifications on my phone. And so I go and look at my phone and I've got all these tons and tons of emails from people through eBay. So I was like, you know, I knew what the deal was with that. There was something on there that was good, that everybody was sending that message that, can I buy it now? Can I buy it now? You know, before there's any bids, they're making you an offer like, I'll give you $500 right now. I'll give you $300 right now. And I go and look on there, and before I even looked at the message, I'll go and look at the item because I knew something was up. Those shoes were at over $2,000. That was what the current bid was, over $2,000. And I go looking at all these messages, and right when I listed them on there, I didn't even realize that all these messages were coming in, people wanting to buy them, offering me like $500, offering me $1,000 and all this stuff. But at that point, they were over $2,000. So I was like, yeah, you know, I wouldn't have done that anyways, because I know when they send you that early offer, they know it's something good and they're trying to get it cheap before everybody starts bidding on it. But they ended up selling for around $2,500. Actually, they were a little bit over $2,500. But what ended up happening is the person never paid. So I went through the full time, then I had to open up a case. They never paid. I relisted them again. This time they went for right at $2,000. And the same thing happened again. The person never paid for them. So I had to list them again. I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna have to keep relisting them because people are interested. They're getting bids until somebody actually pays for this item. And somebody sends me a message, they're like, hey, I seen you've been having to list these shoes, blah blah blah, over and over again. Can we just work out a deal and I'll just do it as a buy it now? And so at that point I was like, yeah, let's, you know, because this person, we went back and forth, and they were like, they asked me where I got these shoes, and I was like, they were in a storage unit downtown Atlanta. I actually had them sitting for over a year. I didn't know what they were. And they're like, that's crazy. That specific model, they're like, these things are crazy rare. And I was like, well, obviously now I know that, but apparently there's all these collectors out there. And so he made me an offer of $1,600 is what he would just do a buy it now. So like I said, the first time I went for way up, but I didn't get paid. Second time I was down around $2,000. He's like, I'll give you $1,600. You know, he's gonna pay, and then I'm sending them. The other people were winning the bid but never even paying, so I wasn't getting any money. So, you know, we worked that out. I made it where it was a buy it now, and he could buy it really quick, and I sold those things for $1,600. Like I said, $300 and something on the unit. Had made my money back and made, you know, profit. Over a year ago I'd made profit, and then when I found that container I sold a lot of that stuff and made more money. And then, you know, it was just like a bonus, you know, that just came out of nowhere, because the money that I'd paid for that unit and my expenses, that was way long gone. So this was just kind of a surprise out of nowhere. And that was a time where, back when I first started, a lot of times money was really tight, sometimes really really tight, and it helped me out big time. But you never know. I mean, it's crazy what you can find in these units. Sometimes stuff that you don't really know nothing about, and you just kind of throw it up there, and you'll be surprised sometimes on eBay. But if you ever start getting put something on eBay and it starts to blow up, everybody's wanting to buy it before, you know, the bidding starts, don't fall for it, even if they're giving you really high offers, because that means they already know something you don't, you know, or maybe you do, but you're just wanting to start it low. And whatever their offer is, it's going to go for at least that amount. Most of the time it's going to go for way more than that amount that they're offering you. So just let it roll at that point. But if you start getting them, just, you know, get excited, because it's probably going to do really well, that item is. But that's the story of, you know, the crazy designer moon shoes that I got at Peter Street in downtown Atlanta. And that's the life of, you know, buying storage units. You never know what you're going to get, and you never know what that item is that's going to, you know, be a jackpot item or make that unit a jackpot unit. But if you want to hear more stories like this, watch live, you know, us unloading storage units and going through the stuff and picking and pallets and all that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button, hit the comment button, send me a comment, like the video, and we'll be putting more stuff out. Y'all have a good one.